Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open one of the most famous sentences ever written and find a secret blueprint hidden right inside.
Yeah, we've all heard this line a million times, right? But what if I told you that ancient mystics looked at this and saw something so much more? Not just a story, but a code.
They were convinced this wasn't just a history lesson. Nope. They saw it as a secret formula, a manual for the spiritual mechanics of existence itself. So, what's the secret? Okay, let's dive in.
All right, to really get this, we have to start where they did. And that means wrapping our heads around a pretty big philosophical puzzle. A real mind bender, actually. So imagine this. Before everything, Kabbalistic tradition says there was only one thing, the Or Ein Sof, the infinite light, an endless, all-encompassing divine energy. It filled literally everything. No space, no time, just pure light.
And right away, you hit a paradox, right? If this infinite God, this infinite light, is everywhere, completely filling all of reality, how do you make room for a finite world? How can you create anything? It's like trying to paint on a canvas that's already from edge to edge completely covered in paint.
So how do you solve that?
Well, the mystic's answer is it's a breathtaking idea. And it's the very first step of creation.
Okay, so get this. The very first act of creation wasn't about adding something, it was an act of taking something away. God performed what's called a tzimtzum, a constriction or a withdrawal, pulling back his own infinite light to create an empty space, a void, the very first place for a world to exist.
Okay, but a void is just emptiness, right? It's not a universe, it's just potential. So the next step had to be introducing a very specific creative force back into that brand new space. And that force is called the kav, or the line. Now, this is absolutely crucial. This isn't the same overwhelming infinite light from before. Think of it as a measured, focused beam of divine energy that God sent back into the void. This line is the blueprint, the framework for everything that would ever be. So you see the 3 steps? It's a cosmic blueprint. Step 1, you have the infinite light, just pure endless potential. Step 2, the timtum, the withdrawal, which creates the space. And step 3, the kav, that focused line of light, enters the void to start building. You go from infinity to a void to structure. It's an incredible process.
Okay, so here's the mind-blowing part. What if this entire cosmic process, these 3 steps, what if they were secretly encoded, word for word, in the very first verse of Genesis?
Let's look at the formula. Every single word maps onto a stage we just talked about. Bereshit, in the beginning. That's not just about time. The mystics saw that as the primordial plan, the tzimtzum, the withdrawal. Then you get Bahara, created. That's the action. That's the kav piercing the void. Even the name used for God, Elohim, represents limitation, the very force needed to constrain that infinite light. And it all leads to Hashamayim and Haaretz, the heavens and the earth, the spiritual and physical realms that result from this process. Let's just zero in on those first 2 words for a second, because this is key. Bereshit, in the beginning, that's the withdrawal. It's setting the stage, creating the potential. But bara, created, that's the spark. That's the moment of ignition, when the creative energy of the kaf actually hits that new empty space and creation truly begins. And using the name Elohim here is it's perfect. It's not just any name for God. It specifically points to the divine attribute of setting limits, of judgment, of structure. It's the force that takes the raw, infinite energy of the kahav and gives it order, creating a balanced world instead of just, overwhelming cosmic chaos. So this incredible cosmic drama isn't just a story about God creating a universe and then that's it. No, according to this interpretation, this whole process is setting the stage for us, for humanity's ultimate purpose. Think about how the verse ends with the heavens and the earth, the spiritual and the material. We, humanity, were created to be the bridge between the two. Our job is to be a living conduit, to actively channel that divine light of the kahav down into our physical world. And in the beginning, that system was working perfectly. Humanity was the perfect channel. But the fall of Adam, in this view, wasn't just about eating a piece of fruit. It was a cosmic catastrophe. It essentially blew a fuse in the circuit.
It disrupted the flow of the Kahav and fractured that beautiful, delicate harmony between the infinite and the finite.
And that disruption, that broken circuit, it created a brand new mission for all of humanity. It's a concept called tikkun olam, and it literally means the repair of the world. Our job, our entire purpose, is to fix that connection.
So let's step back and look at the big picture. When you read it this way, that first verse of Genesis is completely transformed. It stops being just a simple story about what happened way back when. It becomes a living, breathing blueprint for how the entire universe works, maybe why it sometimes feels broken, and most importantly, what our role, our purpose is inside of it all.
And that leaves us with a pretty powerful question, doesn't it? If the blueprint for creation also contains the plan for its repair, what are we doing, you and me, to help redraw that line of light and finish the job?